Guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be doing 4 looks using all 4 of the palettes from the Jaclyn Hill x Morphe Volt collection. So we have all 4 palettes right here. I was thinking about doing 3 looks with each one of the palettes, but my eyes were gonna hurt so bad and I want to get this video out for you guys as soon as I possibly could. So I decided to just do one look with all 4 of the palettes and to put them all in one video. And I just have to say, this is probably the longest video that I've ever filmed in my life because it took me forever to do each look, and I had to take it off, and then I had to touch up my face, and then I had to go ahead and film again. And my eyes are so sore right now. I don't know how anyone can do more than 4 looks. I commend anybody like Shay, God, I forget her name, but I commend her because she does her eye swatch videos. Anybody who's done more than 3 looks using a palette in one day, I commend you guys because my eyes are so sore right now. Like, they just feel so like... But anyways, I've already done my review on the Volt collection, so I will link it up here for you guys so that way you guys can check it out. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. And I also put the Volt collection to the test with the Jaclyn Hill x Morphe, the Jaclyn Hill palette, which was the last palette that came out with Morphe. So I put those 2 to the test to see how similar the formulas are, if this formula is totally different and whatnot. So you guys would definitely have to check that out as well, and I'll link that up here for you guys as well. So today's video is not a review at all. Since I've already done that, today's video is just to show you guys how each one of the palettes perform, and you guys can be the judges of whether you guys want to try it out or not. And then what I'm gonna go ahead and do for you guys, so that way if you guys only want to see one particular look using a certain palette, I'm gonna go ahead and put the timestamps down below for you guys, so that way you guys can check them out and just see the part that you guys want to see. Hopefully this video isn't too long because the rest of this video will be a voiceover, so I'm not thinking that it will be too long, but it might be a 20-minute video. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let me know if you guys pick up the Vault collection, what your guys' thoughts are on it down below in the comment section, and also whatever requests you guys have, let me know those as well. So if you guys want to see all 4 of the looks I did using the Jaclyn Hill Volt collection with Morphe, then just continue watching. So I have already prepped my face and put some powder underneath. We're going to start with the Ring the Alarm palette, and I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Brush on a Morphe M533 brush, and I'm going to go ahead and apply that into my crease as a nice transition shade. And then I'm going to go ahead and take this shade here, which was the one I was most excited about, and this is called Bomb Ass. So it's a really pretty cranberry shade. It's a little shimmery, but I feel like it's more satin than shimmery, so I feel like it works on the outer V. And I'm taking that with this Kylie Cosmetics brush. And then I'm going to go ahead and take this brush here from Morphe as well. I'll link it down below for you guys, but I'm taking the shade On Camera, which is this really beautiful, almost like a bronzy gold shade. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the shade called Lolly. And then I'm going to go ahead and just put that in the inner corner of my eye, and this is just going to add depth and dimension. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the Morphe M507 brush and take the shade Framed, and I'm going to apply that onto my outer V as well. I start off in the lash line and just kind of blend everything in towards the crease. And since it doesn't have a brow bone highlight shade, I'm taking this Wet n Wild Creme Brulee eyeshadow with my Sonia Kashuk angled brush. And then I'm going to go ahead and put on some mascara. I use the Tarte Gifted Mascara, which you guys know is my favorite. Then taking that Lolly shade again on a MAC 219 brush and applying that into my inner corner. And then I'm going to go into the shade Siren with that Morphe M507 brush again and apply that on my lower lash line just to smoke everything out and kind of complete the look. And to make sure that it is nice and blended, I'm taking the shade Rush again on that Morphe M507 and just blending that out. And for my lips, I'm using the Jonte Blue lip liner in Brown Sugar and the Kat Von D Lolita lipstick. And then on to the Ring the Alarm palette, which is the one I was most excited for. So I am going to go ahead and start off with this yellow shade here called Axis with that same Morphe M533 brush, and I'm going to go ahead and apply that into my crease. And it's a very pigmented yellow, I must say. And then I'm taking the Army Green, which is the shade I was most excited for, on my Morphe M433 brush, and it's called Top Secret. So this shade was a little bit patchy. It was really hard to build up. Probably the shade out of all the palettes that I had the most difficult time with, but you just kind of have to be patient with it, really take your time with it, dip your brush in a little bit at a time and just kind of build up the color. And then I'm taking that Access color and the shade called Secure, and I'm just gonna go ahead and mix those two on this Morphe taper pointed brush, and I'm just gonna go ahead and buff everything together. Then I'm taking the shade called Coin, and I'm putting that onto my lid with this Karity brush. I think it's the E4 or E7, I really don't know. I'll link it down below for you guys, like I said. And this shade is stunning. It's a beautiful like greenish gold shade. And then I'm just making sure everything blends in with that tapered brush again from Morphe. This is from the Copper Dream set, which I think is discontinued, but they have similar set brushes to this. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my Ardell Demi Wispies, and I'm just going to go ahead and apply those lashes. And then I'm going into the shade Smooth Criminal and Power, and I'm going to go ahead and apply that on my lower lash line. And then taking the shade called Agent and just going ahead and blending it all together. Then taking my MAC 219 and the shade called VIP and putting that in my inner corner. And this shade, guys, is so freaking pigmented. And then I went ahead and took this lipstick from Ofra called Verona and my Coco Loco lip liner. And like I said, this green did disappoint, but everything else was amazing. So then I'm going to go ahead and move on to the Bling Boss palette, which is the purples. And I'm going to go ahead and start off with this mauve shade here in the crease, and I'm going to go ahead and apply that as my transition, and we're going to go ahead and do a nice cut crease. So then I'm taking this little crown brush, and like I said, I am going to link everything down below for you guys because I can't remember the names on top of my head, but I'm taking the shade called Rockstar, which is this really pretty plummy purple shade, and I'm just going to go ahead and outline how I want the cut crease shape to be. It doesn't have to be perfect, guys, because we are going to clean this up with concealer and blend everything out, but it's just to kind of apply it. Then I'm taking this crown brush, which is similar to the Morphe M507 with the same exact Rockstar shade. This brush is just a little bit tinier, so it's easier for me to be precise and really blend everything out. So I found that this shade is a little patchy, but if you blend it with the same color or even another color in the palette, it blends out pretty well. So I don't have any problems with this at all. You guys can kind of see the patchiness when I first applied it, but once I start blending it out, everything looks good. And then I'm taking the Morphe M514 brush, and I'm taking the shade called Sparks, and I'm going to go ahead and apply that right on top just to blend everything out, make sure it has a nice transition. So I really want this to be a harsh like cut crease, but I still want it to be blended at the same time, and you can see the difference from one eye to the other. Then I'm taking this clean brush from Crown Brushes, and I'm just going to go ahead and blend out all of the edges and make sure there are no harsh lines. And then I'm taking this Luxie brush, which is the small lid brush, and I'm taking some of my concealer. I use the Makeup Revolution concealer, and just take your time with this step on cutting out your crease. I kind of start off with the crease first, like making the shape of it, and then I fill in the rest, but for some reason I always do the front part, like fill that part in completely, and then I finish everything else. I don't know why, it's just what I do, but you don't have to. And you guys can see the shape here and how precise it looks compared to the other eye. So I'm just going to go ahead and quickly do the other eye as well. I'm not going to really show too much of this because I already did in the first part of this video. And this one didn't really come out the same, but it's okay, whatever. Then I'm setting it with some of my ColourPop No Filter powder, which you guys know this is my favorite loose powder of all time. I did grab a little bit too much, and I'm taking that on a MAC 224 brush. You can use literally any brush, I just grabbed the brush. I'm just gonna dust off that extra baking powder, and then I'm taking this gorgeous purple shade. It's this really pretty shimmer shade on this Morphe flat synthetic brush. It's called Gem, and I'm just gonna apply that on the outer part of the eye. And then I'm taking the shade here, which I absolutely loved how it swatched, but how it applied, I don't know how I feel about it, but it's called Ballsy, and I'm applying that shade right in the center of the eye with a flat synthetic brush. So you guys can see the intensity that it gave off here. So then I'm taking the shade called Pizzazz on that Morphe M507 brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and blend in those two colors. So this is just going to create a nice like transition, make sure that it looks nice and gradient. So then I'm taking this shade here called Glitz and Glam, and I'm taking that on this very small, flat, synthetic brush. I don't know where I got it from, but I really like this brush a lot because it really packs a punch. So then I'm going back in with that little tiny crown brush from earlier that we used to kind of create that cut crease. And I'm taking the shade here called Berry Treasure, and honestly guys, like, I expected so much more from the shade, but it's okay, we still made it work. And this is just to kind of deepen up the cut crease and really bring emphasis to the whole cut crease look. So then I'm just doing the same thing to the other eye, and then I'm taking this really tiny little blending brush that I got off Wish, and I'm taking the Rockstar shade, and I'm just going to go ahead and apply that into the crease. I love this brush for cut creases because it's so tiny but fluffy, so it really blends everything out without making a mess out of things. So I'm just applying that into the crease to make sure I blend out that black and it blends in well with everything else. And then I do need to clean up underneath my eyes here, so I took the Wet n Wild concealer. And then I'm taking the Ulta Glitter Tears. I don't know if I've told you guys about these, but I absolutely love these so much. They just are so easy to apply, and they just really add nice oomph to the eyes. I like using it for my inner corner and also for this, what I'm doing here, which is just outlining the crease. And I only did it on the inner part of my eye. And then I took the shade called Bling Bling with my MAC 219 brush and applied that into my inner corner. And this shade was so poppin', guys. I absolutely love how it looks in the inner corner. And then I'm taking the Ardell Demi Wispies again, and these are the lashes that I'm going to use. And then I'm going to go ahead and take Wild Nothing and Third Eye from ColourPop, and I'm going to go ahead and use it as my lip. And this is the finished look with the Bling Boss palette. And then last but not least, we have the Dark Magic palette, which you guys can see my eyes just hate me so much right now. So I'm starting off with the shade called Shh, and I'm applying that on my Morphe M533 brush into my crease. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the shade called Potion on that Kylie brush. So this army green is a little bit more like a yellowy army green, and this one was so much easier to work with than the army green and the Armed and Gorgeous palette. I don't know why, but I'm taking this color and putting it in the inner and outer corners of my eyes to create that nice halo look, and I'm just making sure everything blends in well. Then I'm taking this pointed taper brush and I'm taking the shade called Busted, which is the blue, and I'm going to go ahead and put that right on top of that green, but I still want that green to show, so I kind of work it in a little bit more towards the inside part of my eye, if that makes sense, to kind of let the green still show around the edges of the blue. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the inner and outer corner, and I'm making sure not to get in the center of my eye, just because I really want that to be nice and blended with the green only. So then I'm taking the dark green shade called Inside Job, and I'm taking that on the Morphe M507 brush, and just very little bit of it, putting it on the outer and inner corners of the eyes, trying not to go too far in because I still want the blue to be seen, as well as that army green as well. And then I'm taking some of my concealer. This is the Makeup Revolution concealer on the Luxie brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and use that to kind of clean up the middle part of my eye and create kind of like a cut halo type of eye look. I've done this kind of look before in the past. I think I did it using the Subculture palette, so it's kind of like the same effect, but basically what we do is just kind of create that little curve on the eye, and then I just go back and forth and blend it out in towards the center to just make the center of the eye really pop. So you guys can see here exactly what I'm doing. I don't really know how to explain it that well, but like I said, you guys can see it. And then I'm just taking a clean blending brush and just blending out all the edges there, because doing this concealer hack, sometimes you can create a harsh line. So this is just to make sure that it blends in well with the rest of the eye. And this is a clean brush from Crown. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do is take that silver color called Power Cut. So this color is stunning, guys. It's like a silvery beige, like I don't know how to explain it, but it's such a nice silver shade. I really like it, and it's so intense, guys. I didn't even wet my brush, and you guys can just see the intensity. Now I'm applying that right on top of that concealer using the same exact shape, so kind of like that half cut moon shape in the middle of the eye. Then I'm taking the shade called Trickery on the Morphe M507 brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and blend in the green shades from the outer and inner corner in towards the silver shade that we applied in the center of my eye. And I kind of almost want to make like a triangle shape with that middle shade. So I bring it in more and towards the bottom, and then on the top I kind of just fluff it out. And then I'm going into the Inside Job shade again, and I'm taking that on that crown little tiny pencil brush and just going right on top of that silver shade and blend and kind of like defining the cut or the cut halo. And then I'm going into the shade Poison and just blending everything out around the edges. And then I'm going into the shade called Proof. This shade, guys, is very pigmented, so make sure you guys do tap off the excess. Then I'm taking these lashes from Kiss, and then I'm going to go back into the Trickery shade and just applying that on my lower lash line with the Morphe M507 brush. And this is going to go ahead and help to smoke out the lower lash line as well as kind of complete the eye look. So I make sure to blend this in towards the eyeshadow that's on my outer corner. And then I'm taking the Power Cut shade again with the MAC 219 brush and applying that into my inner water tear duct. And then I'm taking the shade from Smashbox that I'll link down below for you guys because I forget what it's called. And this is the finished look. I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.